And if you look at the numbers at the border, Venezuelan migrant encounters have more than quadrupled during the Biden administration. Joining me now is Florida Congresswoman María Salazar, a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Yeah. And Congresswoman, you heard the statement from the former president, and I understand that not only do you agree with him, you have been sounding this alarm for months. You and Senator Rubio, you guys spearheaded sending a letter to President Biden requesting that he formally designate Tren de Aragua as transnational criminal organization. And I want to ask you right off the bat, has the president responded? Has the president responded? And then, if you would, tell us more about the gang.
Sure. Thank you very much. And my heart goes out to the family of anyone who has been killed by someone with a Hispanic surname. Because we, the largest minority in the country, the Hispanics, we know that we want to live the American dream, not kill it. So what I was hearing about the MS-13, if you want me, I can talk to you about what President Bukele has done. The president of El Salvador, he has eradicated those people. But now let's talk about the Tren de Aragua. Tren de Aragua is the new MS-13 of our day. It comes from Venezuela. We do not know their motives. We do not know where the heads are. We know that President Maduro, who is our enemy in Venezuela, is protecting them. He has emptied the jails, and now most of them are here. And this is an army that has invaded our country, and we don't know who they are because they don't have a uniform.
And some of the cities, I read that there are some cities that they have been known to have been in. I believe Denver is one of those cities. Do you happen to know some of the cities? And give us more information as far as what you know in terms of what they're doing here.
Well, what they're doing is that I know that Mrs. Riley in Georgia, we know that another gentleman that was gagged and bound here in my area, in the Doral area. We know that two of the cops in New York City, or police cops, and New York cops, were beaten by that group, and we have that video on camera. These are people that are highly violent. We do not know their motives, and that is why Senator Rubio and myself, we sent a letter to President Biden saying, you need to designate the Tren de Aragua, which means the Araguan train, as a criminal organization. Because by doing that, if the White House puts them on the very black list, what it does is that it gives the FBI and the rest of the law enforcement agencies in our country all the resources to go after them, to nail them, to arrest them, and treat them in a different way than just a simple local gang. That's what we're asking the President Biden. But in reality, what's happening is that this is another consequence of having an open border for the last 3.5 years, where 10 million people have come in. A lot of people are good people that want to come work and live the American dream. But at the same time, look at the gangs and look at all the bad thugs that we're getting. We need to seal the border. We need to end catch and release. We need to, like I was listening to another soundbite at the beginning of the show, we need to fix our immigration problem, and that's what we're here for.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody listening to us would agree with you, and it takes all hands on deck for this. Right now, let us listen to U.S. Absolutely. Let's listen to U.S. Border Patrol El Paso Sector Chief Scott Good on vetting Venezuelan migrants. Listen.
There's a lot of folks, especially folks from Venezuela, that we just have no idea because we have no biographic information or no biometric information from that country in the United States, right? So when we run their fingerprints, even though they've done some terrible things in the country of Venezuela, the country of Venezuela doesn't share that information with us.
So you could ask, should the U.S. ban? One moment. Let me set up the question for you. You could ask, should the U.S. ban all immigrants from Venezuela? But that would block those applying for legal immigration. So the question is, I would imagine, is how does the United States make Venezuela pay for not sharing biometric information on known criminals with the U.S. and for not accepting the criminals back when they're identified?
And that is a very good question. That's exactly correct. And that's why we asked the Biden administration not to give any more economic oxygen to the Maduro regime, who is the communist neo-Marxist. It's one of the three Marxist regimes in our hemisphere, Venezuela, Nicaragua, and Cuba. And unfortunately, the Biden administration, thinking that the Maduro regime was going to open up and give free and fair elections, they allowed them to sell oil again. So now they have a lot of money in their treasury, and they can oil the repressive apparatus. And in the meantime, they have opened up the jails, and those people are the ones winding up here. So what I think we should do is that we should really treat Venezuela with the utmost rigor and let them know that they cannot do this anymore. But that's the problem, that people people in the Western Hemisphere and the thug countries do not respect President Biden because they see him weak. So they can do this type of thing. They will not do this under a Trump administration.
Well, El Tren de Aragua, as you already pointed out, means the Aragua train. This is a nod to its roots as a railway workers union from that region. And of course, I certainly, because this is a serious matter indeed, I don't mean to be flippant or cutesy. Has the train left the station? Is it too late to corral these guys and get them out of here?
Listen, I think that after you look at President Bukele in El Salvador, who in only few years, he was the murder capital of the world, and now he is the safest country in the Western Hemisphere. He has dealt with the gangs, the MS-13, as you heard in Los Angeles. We can definitely deal with these people. We just need to have a very strong hand, and we need to send the message that this is not going to be condoned, and that they're going to be prosecuted, and that they're going to spend a lot of time in jail.
I'm sorry, because I'm running out of time, but I want to ask, you never answered my question. Have you heard from the Biden administration regarding your request to deem the organization, the gang, a national crime organization?
We have not heard. Senator Rubio and myself, we were still waiting for the Biden administration to designate them under that category.
Waiting for designation, but have you heard anything? Are they working on this, or just
we have not heard? Up until Friday, when session ended, we're going to be free this week. But my office in D.C. is going to continue calling the White House and asking for a response as to when they are planning to designate them in a criminal organization, a transnational criminal organization.
Right, transnational. Thank you. Yes, not just national. They're hopping continents.
All over the hemisphere.
Yeah, Congresswoman Maria Salazar, thank you very much. We'll have you back. Thank you very much.
Thank you to you.